Hey Jay County. Today I'm in Bryant and I'm with Paul VanCise, who's a member of the new Bryant Park Board. Hey Paul, how you doing?
Doing well, thanks.
Good. So we're here today to talk about the new park or the upgrades to the existing park that Bryant is doing. So first off, Paul, tell me a little bit about, you guys created a park board. So how did that work, or how long has that been in existence, and who all's on the park board?
And so Greg Ellenberger, who is our town president, contacted me about a year and a half ago and said, how would you like to be on a committee to help us develop a park? And so I went to the meeting and I left as the president. So that's how that worked. And so
That's why you don't go to meetings.
that's right. It took me 20 years to get it up. So in 20 years, maybe I'll get on a different committee.
There you go.
So we have the members of the park board have to be residents of the town. And so these volunteers are Tina Minnick, and Chuck Myers, and Rick Bollinger, and myself. So we are the park board.
So, put together a park board. I know you've got some plans for things that are going to happen. So, tell me a little bit about some of the things you'd like to achieve here in the park.
Yeah, good question. So the town had the property. So that's why Greg had the idea. We already had restrooms that we could open up during special occasions. And so we've upgraded those a little bit. And when our playground equipment comes in, which is our first big project, and that is supposed to come in at the end of March, which is just a few more weeks. And if all goes well, that will be installed in April.
Okay.
And we got funds from the Portland Foundation. And then we also had some funds of our own that had been saved up for this idea.
Okay, so new playground equipment. I think you've done some other renovation or some spiffing up too of the park. So,
Yeah, so because we had the property, years ago some concrete was in the area for some other use, and basketball goals were on that space. But then this fall, we cleaned that concrete. We had volunteers from REMC, from the community, picked us as their service day.
Okay.
Or we found out they were doing it and we picked them. But we're so happy that they helped us out.
Partnership.
Yep. And with their partnership, 2 days, we cleaned the concrete, painted the basketball lines, 4 square, a tetherball, and a gaga pit. So they had never seen a gaga pit. Most people hadn't heard of it, but we built this gaga pit, which is like a low dodgeball game. And by the end of the day, when all that was done, we already had kids playing on it.
Cool. So another component that you haven't mentioned yet, but I know is a really big deal, is the trail that'll go through the park.
Yeah, so even though the playground equipment is coming first, it was really the trail that instigated it or started it all. So because of my connection with Jay County Trails Club, and some of the members heard that I was the president, and they knew that the town owned the old railroad bed, they approached me and wanted to know if we would be interested in their help in leading us in the possibility of getting a grant to put a trail in. And so they put up some seed money, and we drew up some plans. We applied for the Next Level Trails grant, which you hear about on the news. Our current governor and other governors have put trails priority throughout our state, and they're going up everywhere. And so we applied, and because we already own the property, because there's some trails north of us and south of us, because we have Limberlost trails near us and things like that, we got the grant. And so that trail will be bid out. Contractors will be getting those plans any day. And this summer and fall, that trail will be put in. And so but it was because that the trail was coming in that Portland Foundation said, you know what, you're developing the park, getting a trail. We believe that playground equipment. So it's all coming in. So by the end of 2023, what looks like now is just empty space will be a half a mile trail. They'll go around brand new playground equipment and all the other stuff that we've already done.
So, okay, we've talked a lot about the park. You mentioned early on that you've lived here for 20-some years.
Yeah.
Raised your kids here.
Yeah.
So, okay, tell me, what is it? What What do you do? This is your part-time job, I guess. What's your full-time job?
Yeah. So I moved here on Labor Day 2003. So on Labor Day 2023 will be my 20th anniversary.
Okay.
So I'm the pastor of the church. Most people know it as the church on the curb. And so that's just what we call it when we're talking to people, the church on the curb. So I raised all my kids here. My oldest daughter started kindergarten at Bloomfield. My youngest daughter wasn't. And this year she graduates from high school.
Well, Paul, thank you very much. This has been very great.
Yeah, thank you. Good to see you. Thanks.
You too.